Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live. I'm here to give you the latest word. Just a few minutes ago, the Wigmore International String Quartet competition came to its end, and the winner of this week-long marathon exercise was announced. And as you can see by what I have put up on my screen, the winner of the award for the top quartet at this competition is Opus 13, the Swedish and Norwegian chamber music group. I just wanted to put out, since we put out several live streams talking about this competition from early in the week, when we put out live streams about all the preliminary rounds on Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturday we put out another live stream about the semifinals and the finals. I just wanted to do this for any and all those of you who may have been following our coverage of this event. I want to go over a little bit how great Opus 13 was in this competition. Not only did they end up placing in first place today at the end of the finals, in which they were competing with the Quatuor Integra and the Terra Quartet, but they also won several other prizes. This festival, you can go to the webpage for Wigmore Hall to see all of the different prizes that were given out. But in fact, not only did they win out the first prize in the competition, they also were awarded the prize for the best performance of a Mozart string quartet, because during the 4 days of the preliminaries, all of the contestants were obliged to play a Mozart quartet as well as a Haydn quartet. And then in the semifinals on Saturday, they were all obliged to play a piece from the 19th century repertoire. And for that, Opus 13 chose to play Schubert string quartet in D minor, the Death and the Maiden quartet, and it was superb. I have the pleasure when these live events are happening and live streamed online of I always wander into the chat box that goes along with most of these events. And in the chat box, there are some people who know a lot more about music than I do. They are musicians, and my background as a performing artist is as an actor, primarily a theatrical actor, and also as a lyric tenor, basically at the recital level, not at a higher level than that, nothing operatic. So, but those among them who have the real musicological smarts that I don't have, they agreed with me that Opus 13 was off the charts with the way they played the Death and the Maiden. What I knew was that the way they played the final portion of that piece was just magnificent. It's very rousing ending, and they just nailed it. They just nailed it. Today, each of the contestants was called on to play a piece, a quartet by Beethoven, and I have. Now I have to go back to the website and find exactly so I can give you the right word on the Beethoven pieces that they played. I clicked off too optimistically, thinking I had everything under my belt, but let me go through the three pieces they played, and I'll give you my impressions, which were not the impressions of the judges, let me tell you. It started out with the Terra String Quartet playing the Beethoven String Quartet number 15 in A minor, Opus 132. I didn't feel that piece allowed them to show off the kind of fireworks and contrast between fireworks and lyrical passages that the next two pieces afforded to the Quartet Integra and Opus 13. But apparently the judges liked it quite a bit more than I did, because Terra came in second place rather than the Quartet Integra. Then the second one up was Quartet Integra playing the Beethoven String Quartet number 7 in F, Opus 59, number 1, the Razumovsky. And that was blazes. That was exactly the kind of fireworks that I would be looking for and would want to see when judging a competition like that. And I thought they played it about as well as anybody was going to be playing anything during this competition. And especially the first violin was just, she was ablaze. She was soaring. She was on the money. She was intense. She was alive. She was attacking. She was detailed. She was disciplined. Really excellent. Really, to me, she really stood out. But they ended up placing third in the competition. And the answer to that, well, the answer to that could also be this. The judges were not judging solely on the basis of today's pieces. They were judging each of the three finalists on the basis of their performance during the entire week. So that meant that each of these performers had done a Mozart, had done a Maiden, had done a Judith Weir piece, and then each of them were able to choose an individual piece where you know their own preferences could be expressed. And I put together a little chart. So when it came to their choice about a more modern piece to play, Opus 13 played Bartók. Bartók String Quartet No. 2 in A minor. Integra played Ligeti String Quartet No. 2, and Terra played Benjamin Britten String Quartet No. 1 in D, Opus 25, which I thought was a really excellent choice. Anyway, so you have all that in the background, plus you had what they did at the semifinals. Now, at the semifinals, as I said, Opus 13 really, really killed it with the Death and the Maiden. The quartet Integra, but all three of the finalists chose a solid mainstream German romantic in the semifinals. Integra played Schumann String Quartet in A, Opus 41. And Terra played a Brahms, I think. Yeah, Brahms String Quartet in C minor. So the judges were judging on the basis of all of that, not just on the basis of what they saw this evening. And for me, that could be the explanation, because I did not see and hear this evening that Terra was playing with more passion and more discipline and better execution than Integra. In fact, I thought Integra, when Integra was finished, I'm thinking Opus 13, which I really favored because I'm here in Stockholm and they're the hometown favorites. They're Swedish Norwegian. I thought, well, you know, if Opus 13 plays as well today as it played yesterday when they did the Death and the Maiden, the Schubert, okay, they're in this thing. But if they don't, they've got trouble on their hands. So I thought Integra was really, you know, coming closest to the award besides Opus 13. But Opus 13 gets up there. And they're playing, I mean, this was such a pleasure. They're playing Beethoven String Quartet No. 13 in B flat, Opus 130. And the way they played, they didn't play like they were at a competition. The cellist is smiling all this way through. He's just driving along. And the first violin at certain points, especially in the more lyrical points, I had tears in my eyes. And I thought that she practically did too, although she's too disciplined of a musician to let her go that far with it. The feeling, the rhythm, how well they were in sync with each other. And I think that's a reflection of the fact that partly they've been together for 11 years, longer than any of the other competitors. They've you know, like the other competitors, they've played at a lot of international chamber music festivals all over the place. They're not just in Norway, but they've also played at all the ones in Norway. And they even founded and direct a chamber festival of their own called Vinterspill in Lillehammer, Norway. So, you know, they played like professionals, but they played like professionals at ease and with confidence. I just thought it was really terrific. So I wasn't surprised when they won, but my worry was that they wouldn't win, and then instead Integra would. So that tells you how much I know about music. Then again, I didn't watch every one of the performances of all three of these. I know what they performed, and I saw some of it, but I didn't see everything. So those are your results, folks, for the Wigmore Hall International String Competition this year. They will not be back for another 4 years. They'll be back in 4 years from now in 2028 with a program which will be built around the fact that it's one of the anniversaries of Schubert. So it'll be a Schubert. It may be that the final the final will be everybody playing Schubert in order to pass through to win the final award. Now, before I log off, I do want to remind you about something else going on that I hadn't told you about yet, and you might want to check it out. It is the Brooklyn Art Song Society, which coming up in about 3 minutes from now, I think. I think this is at 11 o'clock. It's at 5 o'clock p.m. New York City time, which would be 11 o'clock here in Europe, and it's 3 minutes to 11 in the evening here in Europe. The Brooklyn Art Song Society will be live streaming the first session of its new series, the New Voices Festival 2025, Lost and Found 1. Now, they'll be playing this at the Roulette Intermedium Theater, and Roulette live streams on YouTube are usually free of charge, but this will not be free of charge. This will go through the Brooklyn Art Song Society. If you want to enjoy it, well, it can cost you a lot to get it. To attend in person, it's $35 to $55. The way to watch it on the Brooklyn Art Song Society website is to subscribe for like $10.99 for the month. Why should you do that? Well, if you're into early music, it would be worth your while because they are early music and art song specialists. And if you subscribe, then you get access to all kinds of background materials and information which they provide to go with each concert. So this is they will be live streaming a new piece by Cecilia Livingston, and the piece is called "Nothing Can End." It's a world premiere, and it was commissioned by the Brooklyn Art Song Society. They'll also be doing Invocation by Jasmine Barnes, Finish What I Haven't Started, also a bass commission by E. Beglarian, Romance by Shawn E. Okpebholo, I Know My Soul by Brandon Spencer, and 3 Russian Nocturnes, also a bass commission by Scott Weir. Performing this will be mezzo-soprano Devani Smith, tenor Aaron Crouch, baritone Greg Feldman, and on the piano, 2 pianists, Michael Brothman and Danny Zelibor. So this is not what they very often are doing early music. This is extremely new music, but again and again, what I end up finding is that the people who are interested in very contemporary music and new compositions very often are also people who are interested in early music and finding connection between the two of them. Anyway, that's what I have for you tonight. And now it's 11 o'clock at night. So if you're interested in the Brooklyn Art Song Society, we will put into the comment section, as soon as I have time to do so, when I've signed off on this, the link for you to get to the Brooklyn Art Song Society, because I haven't had time to put it in there yet. Anyway, to those of you who have followed any of our coverage of the Wigmore Hall International String Competition, thank you for tuning in and enjoying it. And I hope the background that we chose to provide you specifically about the string quartets themselves was of value to you. I thought Wigmore Hall did a terrific job with the programming, with making the program available. This was a humongous festival going on for 6 days and live streaming it all free of charge, although we have given you links so you can donate, which they earnestly ask you to do. It was terrific. But one thing I couldn't find was much about the different string quartets. So that was the service that we tried to provide you. There's Opus 13, another Nordic example of excellence in the performing arts. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, Monday, April 7th at 6 o'clock in the evening European time, noon on the East Coast, 9 in the morning on the West Coast, with the weekly roundup of big stage productions, opera, orchestras, chorales, that sort of thing.